Good morning, lovely people. Today I want to talk about panic attacks, how to survive a panic attack, and also how to support someone if they're having a panic attack. In my experience working with people, panic attacks tend to start happening if we are holding a lot inside, if we're trying to squish things down and not deal with stuff, or try and just get through and cope by ourselves. So it's a good indication that it might be time to talk to someone or do some journaling or do some talking out loud if you've got the opportunity to do that about what's going on the inside, letting things come to the surface and actually dealing with them. Having a panic attack is absolutely horrendous. So if you've had one, you'll know this, but it's always a good thing to know about what it actually feels like, because it can actually feel like you are dying or having a heart attack. So to know beforehand that that's what it's like can be useful, right? So the way it feels generally is that you get a really strong sense of impending doom, something terrible's about to happen. Heart rate goes up, breathing starts getting really shallow and really fast, so you can end up hyperventilating. And because you're hyperventilating and getting way too much oxygen in, you can also start feeling really dizzy, lightheaded, tingly, lose feeling in your arms and legs, hands and feet. It's an awful feeling, and it feels horrendous. You just feel like you're actually losing control. So most people have heard that when having a panic attack, the most important thing to do is to breathe deeply. And while that's not wrong, the most important part of this is to breathe out deeply, long and slow. Focus on the out breath. If we focus on the in-breath, which we tend to do when we're having a panic attack, we tend to take really big gasping breaths, we end up with way too much oxygen, and that makes us feel so much worse. So the key is to focus on a long, slow out-breath. If you can purse your lips, if you can remember to do that, really long and slow, and just focus on doing that. And that regulates the oxygen, carbon dioxide balance in the body, and can just really calm, as well as it calms the nervous system and gets us into the parasympathetic, which is the more calm and rest and repair part of the nervous system. Long, slow out breaths. Same concept of breathing into a bag, right? The other thing to do is to recognize that you are having a panic attack, because that in itself can really calm the nervous system. Having someone close by makes a really big difference. So someone just being with you and telling you that they're going to stay there and be there with you, and that you're going to get through it, and that it's just a panic attack, can be super useful. If you don't have anyone around, it's really useful to remember times where you felt really safe with someone. So actually visualizing, remembering, or making it up, sitting with someone who you feel safe with, and maybe imagining holding their hand or remembering them hugging you or something like that can be really useful. I remember getting panic attacks a long time ago. I used to get them when I was driving, and it was horrendous. I'd get them sitting at the lights, and everything in me would be screaming to get out of the car and run like hell. It was awful. So what I did is I actually spoke to a friend of mine who agreed to be on the end of the phone if I ever needed her to be there. And if I had a panic attack, I would just pull over, and she would talk me through it while I cried and regulated my breathing, and she would just sit on the end of the phone and say, "It's going to be okay, I'm going to be with you." So that was amazing. If you've got someone who can do that for you, fantastic. Good to have a conversation about it before you have the panic attack, so you have a bit of a plan. If you're with someone having a panic attack, that can feel really scary too if you don't know what's going on. So the best thing that you can do is regulate your own breathing. Do the long, slow out breath. You don't even need to tell the person to follow you. They're just going to follow you anyway. It happens. They regulate to your breathing. They get reminded. Sit close to them. Some people don't like to be touched, so it's useful to know that. But just sitting close so that maybe your shoulder is in contact, or your knee or something like that, and use lots of inclusive language. I'm here with you. I've got you. I'm going to stay with you until this passes. It's just a panic attack. It's going to be okay. Focus on your out breath. I'm here with you. Everything's going to be okay. The more calm you can keep yourself, the more the other person's going to regulate with you. So that's one of the best things that you can possibly do. Just stay calm. Stay calm and focus on the long, slow out breath, and it will pass. And then once it's passed, book in to chat to someone, a therapist or a good friend, parent, whoever you've got that you can have conversations with, or do some writing, do some journaling. Okay, I hope that was helpful. Have a good day.